If you've completed the Gears 5 campaign, you will know that Delta Squad had a significant shake-up and our beloved Gears were left on somewhat of a cliffhanger. So today I'm going to discuss where the narrative may head in Gears 6, and we're doing it right now. Hey squad, Sykes here, and a kindly reminder that if you enjoyed this video, then please make sure you leave a like, head over to InstallationX and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell for notifications. Also, being a Gears video, there will be strong language and scenes of violence, and don't forget your full spoiler alert, as I will be going into serious spoilers for the campaign of Gears 5. So, are you ready? Like seriously, have you finished the campaign? If not, do not continue, and come back later, as I'm going to start with the big one. You've been warned. So, after the ending of Gears 4 and Kate's link to Queen Mira and the Locust was revealed, fans had a pretty good idea of how the narrative of Gears 5 would at least start. This was later confirmed in reveal trailers and promotional material on Kate searching for answers regarding the medallion passed onto her by Rayna. These questions were excellently answered in Gears 5, but now the ending of Gears 5 has left me scratching my head on where the story may be heading in Gears 6. So first things first, what the fuck was with that decision? Oh my god. So we can't not start at the biggest moment of the Gears 5 campaign, and that was Kate's choice between saving JD or saving Del. At the beginning of Act 4, Kate, Del and JD are ambushed by the resurrected Queen Rayna. Kate is attacked by Rayna and JD and Del attempt an ambush but end up getting tangled up in Rayna's creepy tentacles. Kate's got a knife, and suddenly you as the player are forced into the ultimate decision: who lives and who dies. Now, for full transparency, during my first playthrough I chose to save JD. Now, based on what I've been hearing, I may somewhat be in the minority, as a lot of people opted to save Del. I was also being a complete dumbass, thinking that with it only being the beginning of Act 4, I thought there would be a whole of Act 5 to go and save Del from Rayna's clutches. Fuck no! I was very wrong, and Del's neck was broken and he was dead. Very sad. Now obviously, depending on whom you choose to save will change a few things narratively going forward. With Del dead, JD and Kate have a cry and comfort each other after the shock of their friend being suddenly taken out. JD and Marcus have a big father and son hug, and for the first time we really see that side of JD and Marcus's relationship. We also get to see Foz dealing with the grief of Del's death when he finds out that he will no longer be able to continue his game of who saves who with Del. Now, I decided to go back and play Act 4 and reverse my original decision to see if there were any significant changes. After JD is killed by Rayna, Del is the one seen holding the gears of JD, with the remaining two mourning in a very similar cutscene as before. The real difference is obviously in the form of Marcus's reaction to learning that his son JD has been killed in action. It is an excellently crafted moment when Marcus is about to slip into his grief before checking back and realising there's a job to do. The other change is that Foz's banterful dialogue intended for Del is not present, and we just get a sorrowful look from him. So with the facts all out of the way, where the hell are we going next? It's quite clear that Gear 6 will still lean heavily on Kate, with the aim to ditch defense and go full offense to take down Queen Rayna and the Swarm for good. But how are we going to do that with a major character being suddenly lopped off? Now, don't feel like I'm against this decision. I'm really not. I thought it was a great decision and something that took guts, and I feel certain larger franchises aren't willing to do this. But taking out one of your new stars was super ballsy. So where next? Well, the Coalition are going to have to be smart about this. They are going to have to find a way of taking the player's choice from Gears 5 and integrating it into Gears 6. One idea may be that they're given the choice on who accompanies Kate, Marcus and Foz at the start of the Gear 6 campaign, choosing between JD or Del as the final member of Delta Squad. However, they will have to make it so the player doesn't feel like they are missing out on any significant narrative events by choosing one over the other. This was also done in one of my other favourite franchises, Assassin's Creed. In Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you could choose between playing as Cassandra or Alexios. Depending on whom you chose as your character, the other turned up as your enemy. The story would play the same with Cassandra and Alexios simply swapping roles depending on your choice. Now, the Coalition could look to go down this route, swapping out JD and Del depending on who's dead or who's alive in the playthrough. I would also really like to be given the choice at the start of Gears 6 and not to have to suffer with my original decision in Gears 5. On reflection, I feel I may have chose wrong. Sorry Del, I regret everything. For the reasons I have explained, this could be a reasonable creative choice for the Coalition to make, however it would involve running this through the whole 10+ hour campaign, which could become a little tricky. They could also go a step further and bring the deceased character back as an enemy integrated into the Swarm, though this does feel very out of left field and not something that is historically the Locust or the Swarm have ever done, so might be a bit of a stretch in terms of lore. Although the Coalition aren't against ripping up the rulebook, after all we've seen how a human can be taken into the Swarm in the form of Queen Mira. Now they could be super ballsy and simply kill off the remaining character early in Gear 6, leaving Kate and the Old Guard to fight it out against Queen Rayna. The Coalition could continue to develop Foz into a fully fledged babyface character to pick up the Lancer and fight alongside Kate in her final quest to kill Rayna. Now, I would be very surprised if they did that, killing off both JD and Del, having put in so much great work to develop them and build them up into really strong, diverse characters. What is without doubt, however, is that Gears is now the talking point of many Xbox fans, and the theories of where the story will go next will likely start and continue for the next 3 years before Gears 6 is announced and released. The Coalition should be praised for taking a bold decision and leaving it in the hands of fans of the franchise and players of Gears 5. However, that well created and crafted moment will be for nothing if the Coalition aren't able to back it up just as well in Gear 6. We will have to wait and speculate until then. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then please don't forget to leave a like, head over to InstallationX and subscribe, leave a comment on your thoughts on what could be happening in Gears 6 down below, and don't forget to hit that bell for notifications. As always, you can follow myself and the channel over on Twitter at installation_ix, capital I as capital X, and for all things Xbox, stay tuned to InstallationX. Bye guys.